Hey, what is up, guys? Flex Media here, bringing you yet another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. And we are here over on the Dokkan Battle Wiki. Big, ginormous shout out to the Dokkan Wiki. They are awesome. But what I want to do here is, this video is more or less going to be like a, quote, should you summon banner. Now, obviously, you should be summoning on the banners that you want to summon on, and for the units you want to. Now, who am I to tell you not to summon on STR UI Goku? I mean, how do you not summon on him? You know what I mean? 70% chance to dodge, you know, sick-ass super attack animations. You get it, right? But this Beerus, so this is a very sort of sticky situation that we're all in, because Beerus is very good. Widely considered one of the top TURs in the game, not counting Easy A's. But here's the thing. So he leads this category, Explosion of Anger, and then of course he is a Realm of Gods leader. I'll just kind of spare you the details. So essentially his leader skill is like Realm of Gods plus AGL Gohan. And there are like some Broly units as well. Like, you know, there are some obviously good units on Explosion of Anger. I'm not trying to downplay the category, but essentially to me, Realm of Gods, like, that's the main attraction. And the thing about it, we literally just last week, I believe, got a Realm of Gods category leader in LR UI Goku. Now, if you had shitty luck and did not pull LR UI Goku, trust me, I feel you. It took me about, I think the final count was 850 or 900 to pull one. So I do believe it. I think it was 850, and then I did one multi for no reason I really shouldn't have done. But yeah, we've all wasted 50 stones here or there, I suppose. But what I want to do is go over his card and then go over the other new card, the STR Whis, that will be coming out with him. And then we'll kind of go over his banner and give you my final verdict here. So, number one, we just went over his categories, right? His leader skill. So, Explosion of Anger and Realm of Gods. And he is a Key 3, HP 130, and Attack and Defense 170. Now, again, this is where the homie Truth and I disagree. I very much enjoy the Attack and Defense 170, and I don't care who says otherwise, honestly. I think that for long events, having higher HP is better, because you're able to stack up your defense to insane heights. You know, LR Gohan is going to stack up his defense even on a 130% defensive-led team to 500,000 plus. Okay, so just to kind of clarify there, like, ideally you want it 170 all the way around. That's ideal, right? But again, just to be noted, a lot would say that AGL Zamasu's leader skill is better. But I do like his leader skill, especially for Super Battle Road. Short burst events, I like Attack and Defense 170. Just is what it is. So, his super attack is the God of Destruction's Edict, which is going to infinitely raise attack. So a 99 turn raise on attack, and then cause immense damage to the enemy and greatly lower defense. Now, greatly lowering defense, at least it's better than just normally lowering defense. And for a unit, which we'll go over his passive and his active skill, but for a unit that can be super effective against all types, actually lowering defense is not a terrible ability for him. He's just an overall, just like an insanely hard hitter. Obviously, you kind of wish he lowered attack and defense, but it's okay, right? Let's go over his passive. Defense 100%, which is great. So he gets defense without even trying, you know what I mean? Just at the start of turn, he has defense. That is good. That's how they need to design Dokkan Fest exclusives nowadays. They have to have defense. So defense 100%. Attack 150% when performing a super attack, plus an additional attack and defense 70%. This is separately calculated. Notice the semicolon here, right? That's how you can kind of tell if things are separately calculated, right? Or multiplied into itself, you'll also hear people say. But he gets an additional attack and defense 70% within the same turn after receiving attack, and he randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to rainbow key spheres, and attacks effective against all types when there's a Realm of Gods category enemy. Which might seem a little bit sort of niche, you know, but, and I guess to a degree it is, but you will encounter Realm of Gods, you know, a fair amount of the time. Not all the time, and not none of the time. You know, a decent amount of time you will encounter Realm of Gods enemies, you know, particularly the legendary Goku event. There's God Goku, Blue Goku, UI Goku, and then MUI Goku. So there's 4 right there in the legendary Goku event. And then his active skill. So attack and defense 50%. So again, this is like a big separately calculated attack and defense 50%. And he gets attacks effective against all types and attacks guaranteed to hit for 1 turn. So they can't dodge his big nuking attack, and it can be activated when HP is 70% or less, which is not terrible, starting from the 4th turn from the start of battle, and that, of course, you can only do once only. Now, what we go over next is kind of, I would say, the weakest part of this card. His links are, talk about niche, like, his links are very specific. So, Godly Power, you'll be able to activate often. Prodigies is hit and miss. There's some Vegetas that have Prodigies. And then, of course, like, I think LR, Beerus, and Whis, I think they have it. I'd have to double check that. Connoisseur, they're going to share with LR, Beerus, and Whis. And the STR Whis, the Innocence, Shocking Speed, Berserker, and Fierce Battle. So not a big advantage, him having Shocking Speed. That's kind of a disadvantage of his card. You're going to notice often, if you run him not on his own team, that he's not going to be starting off with a ton of ki. He doesn't give himself ki from his passive, and he only has Shocking Speed as a key link, so that is not great. It's not as though Shocking Speed is bad. But for Realm of Gods, it's not great. I'll just say that. So he's going to be able to activate it a lot more on some of these other teams. So Movie Bosses comes to mind, although I'm probably not running him on Movie Bosses, to be honest. And we'll go over why. He really likes to be run with that STR Whis card that we're going to go over here soon. Siblings Bond, at the very least, on LR Gohan and Goten's team, he's going to start with 8 ki. Because they're a 4-key leader, so that's really good. That would be a good spot to run him for sure, and you can link him up with STR Whis over there. Worthy Rivals, Bond of Master and Disciple, and of course Explosion of Anger, which he leads. Now his stats are very, very high. That HP and attack stat, those are really, really, really high. Anything over 17,000 you can just consider top tier. That's very top tier in terms of a Dokkan Fest exclusive, non-easy aid. Now let's check out the rest of his details. So 12 key multiplier 150, that is what you would expect from a modern day Dokkan Fest exclusive. His additional defense 70% is calculated separately for a total boost of defense 240% after being attacked. So that's very high, obviously, but he does have to get hit 1 time. So he runs into this situation that is similar to AGL Super Vegito, where he does not activate his additional attack and defense until after he gets hit. So that can be a problem if you get supered on the very first attack. That's the only time it'll ever be a problem. But then after that, he's going to be a defensive wall at defense 240%. His active skill is also calculated separately for a total boost of attack 380% and defense 410% when all conditions are met, in addition to having attacks being effective against all enemies. So remember that he's going to be benefited a couple different ways. So remember that traditional support units are going to better support the unit in terms of attack anyway. When it is on super attack. So the one that comes to mind is this guy, or LR AGL Majin Vegeta. Just hits like an absolute effing Mack truck, right? When you've got just one support on rotation. He goes from like a 2.5 million attack stat to like a 4 million attack stat. He's really, really strong, obviously. And this Beerus is similar, right? Now, when he gets his active skill, he's getting this separately calculated attack and defense. So if you have B-Pan on rotation, like, dude, it's just GG's. You know, B-Pan, I think you could probably get... What team could you get B-Pan on with? Siblings Bond, of course, because you can run Goku's family on the LR Gohan and Goten team. So let's go ahead. So, okay, so the point of in summation, this dude is what you'd call busted. He's quite strong. He's one of these units that you do have to build the team around, unfortunately. You can't plop him on any team, and he's not going to just, you know, be ripping off 5 million attack stats. But if you set him up correctly, he's going to be very strong, particularly if you manage to pull this gentleman. And the gentleman is he. This is the new STR Whis, ideal move, Whis. His leader skill is good. Bond of Master and Disciple category, Q3, and 120% to stats. I love all of these new banner units having sub-leads. So at the very least, you can run categories, right? That's very, very cool. So Bond of Master and Disciple is led by Int Future Gohan, which basically no one has. No one summoned on that banner. And I don't blame you, because it was fucking trash. So, but his super attack, Basic Teachings of an Angel, causes supreme damage and lowers attack and defense, and seals. Very strong ability. Very strong to lower attack and defense and seal. That is just a crazy combo. That is so, so good. So his passive skill is where he gets absolutely bananas, bonkers, crazy, insane, whatever you want to say. He's essentially, at this point, like a mini LR UI Goku. So let's go over him. Attack and defense, 100%. Great chance, 70% chance, of evading enemies' attack, including super attack, and an additional defense 50% with each attack evaded within the same turn. So the only difference being, right, is he's not getting attack, and he's getting so he's getting defense and not getting attack, and that defense is not carrying over to the next turn. So he's just going to get a 50% raise with each attack evaded in the same turn. Now remember, again, so you see the semicolon, right? So again, separately calculated. So it's not exactly 50%. It's actually going to be a lot more. So it's really more, it's closer to 100% of a defensive raise. So if you can even get him to dodge one single time, he's going to be looking very, very good. Other than that, let's see. Oh yeah, so let's go over the rest of his passive. All allies attack plus 50% and recovers 10% HP at the end of turn when there's an ally whose name includes Beerus. Beerus excluded, attacking in the same turn. I do want to make this kind of a point. Why Beerus is on there? Why is that even mentioned? Okay, so the way that I understand it, I do not speak Japanese, nor can I read the kanji. But the way the homie Garesh, shout out to the homie Garesh, the way that he describes it, the way that this is worded in Japanese, the combination of Beerus and Whis is Beerusis. So it's like Beerus the Is. So that's why Beerus, that's why they even mention it, right? That Beerus would be excluded. So on the Japanese version of the game, that makes a little more sense, right? But when name includes means that you can run Beerus and Whis. So that's essentially what that means. His links, Godly Power. Let's hold on before we go over his links. Let's not ignore that he's going to give attack 50% to all allies and recover 10% HP at the end of the turn if you're running Beerus on rotation with him. So that, of course, is going to be a monstrous attack buff for the new Fizz Beerus or Tech Beerus. I mean, straight up, Tech Beerus is still super strong. Just not quite as good defensively. Doesn't have any fancy active skills. Or anything like that, but you could easily run them on the same rotation, and you're going to be, you know, really, really well off. Okay, so his links: Godly Power, Cold Judgment, Connoisseur, Gentleman, Shocking Speed, Rival Duo, and Fierce Battle. Categories: Realm of Gods, Siblings, Bond, and Bond of Master and Disciple. So his links, he's going to link up quite well, particularly Godly Power, Fierce Battle, Connoisseur, and Shocking Speed with the Beerus, right? The Fizz Beerus. So that's going to be a really, really good look for Beerus. So he's going to be getting 30% from links in terms of attack. He's going to be getting 2 key and then 50% from support. And then they also share this Connoisseur link. So they both recover 5%. So essentially, they're going to recover 20% HP every turn if you have them on the same rotation. Not to mention, just craziness ensues, right? The way he can dodge and then raise his defense like that is just crazy. So let's go ahead and scroll down, see if there's anything else we need to know. Yeah, here we go. So there we go. So we can see his stats right there. 12 key multiplier, 140. Again, that's what you would expect. His additional defense plus 50% per evaded attack is calculated separately, resulting in a boost of 100% defense with each evaded attack. So there you go. Again, it's just like, he's crazy. Like, both of these units are very strong, particularly when you run them next to one another. So, the last thing we need to go over before I kind of give you my final verdict here is, should you summon? Now, of course, the elephant in the room is, guess what next month is? The 5-year anniversary. So, I think the very, very easy answer is, please save your stones. Beerus is good, but he will be back, especially if you do not wail out on this game. Just save your stones. You are better off pulling on the Blue Fusions banner. They're just far and away better units. Like, there are crazy units on this banner, and we'll go over the banner. But on the Blue Fusions banners, you're talking about each banner has 3 Dokkan Fest LRs. On the Vegito banner, you've got Zamasu and Trunks. On the Gogeta banner, you've got Broly and, AGL Gogeta. The banners are just, cray-cray. And it's 3+1. And we're going to get tickets. It's just like, you are far better off saving your stones. So kind of, that is sort of the answer. Like, you should save your stones. However, that's if you're free to play. Now, if you wail a little bit, I would say that I'm not going to call this a must summon by any means, right? And honestly, even if you wail, like, I can't blame you if you want to save your stones. I'll tell you what, man. This unit here, it just makes me, like, straight up makes me erect. Like, it makes me start salivating the thought of me pulling this guy on the banner. It's kind of crazy that he's the 3rd unit on the banner and he's better than these two. I stand firm that Cooler is better than Beerus. Beerus, you need the entire team built around him for him to be better than STR Cooler. And in Cooler's case, because he starts out as a support unit before he transforms, it just makes him way more valuable. And then not to mention, we have a ton of Realm of Gods leaders. We got a bunch of them. The original UI Goku. We have Fizz Beerus now. We do have some sub-leaders. Who am I missing? Who is a Realm of Gods sub-leader? I'm drawing a blank here, but I know there is one. I'll put a little edit on the screen because that's driving me nuts. But we do have a couple sub-leaders for Realm of Gods as well. But we only have him and then STR Boo for Transformation Boost. Now remember, STR Cooler, he can be run. You can run the Blue Fusions on his team. Let's go to his actual Dokkan. Let's go to his actual Dokkan Awakened version real quick, if I could find it. Remember, Transformation Boost boasts some of the strongest units in the entire game. Not to mention, Terrifying Conquerors is no joke either. I mean, it's a very, very strong category. Transformation Boost, do I even really need to go over it? I mean, yeah, okay, let's just look. Yeah. Okay, so there's the LRs on the category. So there you go. Both Blue Fusions, Baby, Gohan, Cell, Full Power Frieza, Tech Broly, LR Fizz Cell if you're into that sort of thing, and then the TURs, AGL Bardock, 13. I mean, guys, this we don't really need to go over this category. It's crazy, right? We know it's crazy. So the whole point of all of me going on this tangent was, what I think the ultimate answer is you save your stones, and you pick up Cooler with red coins. Now, I hope that you have been saving your red coins. I sincerely hope. This is one very, very unique unit that I think is worth it. I would say anyone else on the banner. Here's the thing: is like you're really strong. you can hit very hard. You're gonna look really good next to Whis also. He's a pure Saiyans leader. It's not as though that's a bad pull, but you know, a lot of us have multiple dupes in him. He has only been on one other banner. I've never pulled another dupe of him, so that's also a tantalizing part, is this Namek Goku for me. So for me, this banner is as about of high a value as I can get, other than probably the anniversary banners, right? The 5-year anniversary banner is probably the only banner that will ever come out that's going to be a higher value for me. Because I need 1, 2, 3, 4 units. I don't have STR Cooler, if you haven't figured that out. So I have him on my JP account Rainbowed. I got very, very lucky on that banner. I did one of those reroll accounts. I think I Rainbowed him in like 1,800 stones or something. Like, it was really, really good. And he's obviously crazy. You don't really need dupes in him. He gets unconditional. He gets guaranteed crits, is what I should say, against pure and hybrid Saiyans. And of course, he does get unconditional additional attacks when he transforms. You guys know how good he is, so I don't need to go over Cooler anymore. So, guys, if you whale out, I actually would say maybe drop a few stones on this, but if you're free to play, I think you should stay away. Just pick up Cooler with coins. Of course, unless you covet, unless you don't have AGL Gohan. Because if you don't have AGL Gohan, I think that he's the one you want to get with your red coins. Because remember, if you're free to play, I can't expect you to be sitting around with 1,000 red coins or 900 red coins. So if you're going to pick between Cooler and Gohan, I'm going to call Gohan a little more valuable to you. Go ahead and pick him up with red coins. That's going to be your best choice. But this guy, he's got to be second best. Like, he's very, very strong. I could go on and on about this, but the final verdict is don't summon if you're free to play. Pick him up with coins, STR Cooler that is. Slap a like if you enjoyed the video. And obviously, consider subscribing if you are new. Come and join the Flex family. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support, and I will catch you in the next one. Later.